Sept, huit, neuf, dix. It is I, Claude, here for another random share. And I just felt the urge and thought, oh, well, why not come on some of the other shows? Today finished earlier, and I thought, well, we can get going. It's 9 in the morning for me here. I think those of you on Eastern Standard Time, it's about 9 at night. Yeah, so that's sort of a good time for me, a good time for you. And then, of course, others, different times again. So, yes, been a lot happening in the last few weeks. So I've been on for a while in a live show, but I've been watching other people's shows, and I've also been putting up a fair number of shorts myself. So that's all been good, all been fun. Um, Interesting though, for a while there, someone was telling me that if I did certain things, I could get a whole lot more subscribers to my channel. Well, I wasn't going to do anything. I don't want people to subscribe if they're not real, so I didn't do that. And then, for some reason, maybe karma, um, I, I was rewarded with some shorts that hit nearly 5,000 views on the best end. And it's just way more than the normal number of views I get 100, maybe 2 or 300. So that was good. Yes, Berius, you say to me thoughts on the debate that was with Joseph and the Kentucky atheist. Well, first of all, I'd say it was very fairly conducted, and Kentucky atheist is such a gentleman. Joseph behaved well too in this particular case. The moderator was fair, very unlike Standing for Truth, which is just a Hovind-loving debate moderator. Although I do notice that he hasn't done any debates with Hovind lately, and I suspect he's distancing himself after all the recent revelations. But other than that, and Joseph does say that he wrote the stuff himself, so I'll accept what he says on that. But it was just read, and when you read stuff, it doesn't quite have the same impact. I do think it tended to follow the normal Hovind type debate on evolution too. So no, it didn't win me over, and it won't win me over against evolution. That's for sure. Hello, Captive Desk. I hope you're good. So, yeah. So that's my thoughts on that debate. What did you think, Mr. Slack, or Berius, or Frank? You can be quite frank with us, because you've never heard that joke before. No. Yes. So other than that, until anybody decides they want to come on, let me just put the link again there, just in case. I think it's there. I will just mention some of the the things that I've put up. The shorts have done really well. For me, I'm just so lucky. And, so the one that got the most views recently was Kent Hovind's Teenage Girl's Temptation, which I thought was a good title, but it was true. Hello, Frank Jr.
Hello, hello. How's my volume? Is it good?
It's perfect. Yes.
Okay, awesome. I have my Bluetooth headset in, so I hoped it would be good. Yeah, yeah. My thoughts on the whole thing well. The summary is when he and I couldn't really tell. I was not really super focused on it. I was listening to it because at the same time I was wrapping up some paintwork I had been doing, and taking painter's tape off the wall and whatnot. So I couldn't really tell that he was reading directly from a script. But for me, it was all over when he went to the argument about the trees standing up and the coal seams and all that. What do you call it? The what is it? There's another name that they, because Hovind uses that argument with the trees standing up through rock layers. Polystrate fossil.
Polystrate, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did that. I feel like that was, it's like, mistake number one. And then later on, then he goes to the radio polonium halo argument. It's like, okay, you're done, dude. You're baked at that point.
Yeah. I mean, probably you and others understand the intricacies of evolution more than I do. But I do know not to accept the pronouncement of Hovind, who's a charlatan, nor, and for that reason, his disciple Joseph, who I have no idea what his background is. I mean, if he was some credentialed scientist, I would have to think more carefully about what he says, but I don't, waste my brain, whatever brain I've got left, on it too much. Yeah.
Well, he did say he has some expertise in doing drugs, so I guess take that for what it's worth.
Well, that's the funny thing, and although I'm very supportive of those that have been on drugs and can get off it, I think that is absolutely great. But when it comes to the general sanity, and I think sometimes it's been affected. Oh, hello, Robin in the chat too. Yeah, and I think it has.
Well, Miss Robin.
Yeah. So I just don't. Yeah, I don't give him a whole lot of credibility. Because Hovind has not been affected by drugs. He's probably been affected by a lack of them.
Yeah, he's
in his case, it might.
I never tasted alcohol ever. He used that argument a few times.
Yeah,
not argument, but statement.
What I love with Kent is, I was a virgin on my honeymoon. He'll be talking about something. I was a virgin on my honeymoon, and we sort of say, well, that's fine, but what's that got to do with the topic at hand? And the answer usually is nothing. He's like, to Trump, he's saying to President Trump, I'm innocent of these crimes. I'm not a tax protester, and I was a virgin on my honeymoon. I don't think that's going to impress Trump, is it? It's not. He's not going to be interested in that.
I think that's something I could never see Trump admitting, even if it was true, that he was a virgin on his honeymoon.
Yeah, I'd be reasonably sure he wasn't, as indeed most people are, and as indeed I suspect most Christians. But it's just a certain variety that make that, the signaling of the virtue. So.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, it's this virtue signaling thing. It's this kind of holier than thou thing.
Yes.
Oh, I was a virgin on my honeymoon. I never drink a drop of alcohol. Blah blah blah. I'm so much better than all of you at this Christian thing.
Yes. So I've. No, I just been getting a great number of views on my shorts lately, and it's been alleged that I live 24/7 in thinking about Kent Hovind, and then 365 days a year, and I say no. In leap year, it's 366 days of the year that I think about him.
And it's the same trolls every time that are on Gangster Ghost Show and on Missing Mod Show that make that argument. And I think it's because you're having some impact. You're getting to them. They you're picking on their hero and you're trying to expose what's the situation with his now departed wife, and they don't like that.
No, and I can understand, because they're purveyors of truth, most of these people. The truth is supposed to be important to them. And, if I was telling lies, I'm the first one that should be called out. If I'm right, the latest one is that
Yeah.
dumbass Dan has called me a serial liar and whatever and blah blah. And as
Oh
name
boy.
name the lie, name it, name my lie. Because if I make a mistake, and I will apologize and withdraw. Mm,
Hmm.
mm, absolutely.
Well, aren't they in the midst of a lie themselves with this whole, or at least I don't know if it was Dan that was promoting it, but Steven, that they should leave YouTube and go strictly to Rumble.
Yes. Yeah.
And have they actually done that yet? It doesn't seem
No.
like they have.
No, and even Kent, he's all a big mouth about how he's left YouTube and he doesn't want anything to do with it. And then the other day, I heard him saying his followers that, well, they could always put his stuff up on their YouTube channels. So he
Hmm.
desperately misses YouTube. Of course, if they do that, they probably risk getting banned too for
Man
evading,
themselves,
I mean,
yeah,
it's okay to have the odd interview or whatever, but to actually put up his shows holus bolus, as they say, or is it
yeah.
holus bolin, then that would be regarded
I
as a
thought it was
bad thing.
toilet bowling, but I don't know him
Right.
personally, but
Oh, God.
that's one I've heard
That's a
going around.
Yes, it's a great name for him. Once, I really feel as though, and I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face, I have nothing against Christian people. I have nothing against people who
Yeah,
sincerely believe the earth is a
same here.
particular age
Same
that
here.
God done it. But the ones that are a-holes with it, I certainly do. And the ones that take advantage of
Yeah,
others' ignorance. So, I can have very good discussions with Gangster Ghost. I can even have discussions with Missing Mod unless she locks me up in her dungeon.
yeah.
But
Well, she's done that to me too. You're not the only one. So yeah.
but I get but what happens is that if you if you're on Proverbs Lies show, you're always under constant threat. They're going to ban you, they're going to block you, usually, and it's awful. So, and at Hoven show, well, as you know, I tried to
Hmm.
get on the open mic yesterday,
That's
and
hilarious.
I'd only
Yeah, every
said a
time you try
couple
to
of
do
words.
that.
I didn't even get any of the good stuff in before I'd gone. My voice must be just so distinctive, even when I change it a bit.
You're gonna have to get a little
Mm,
bit better
mm,
at a little
yeah,
bit more Mel Blanc about
yeah. I, don't-
disguising your voice.
I
Coming
don't.
up with some
I
funny
don't.
voices.
I don't think I can somehow. I just I'm one of those distinct voices that people
You
spot
do, yeah, you do. You
immediately.
have a very distinct voice.
So when I was sort of being the British gentleman, which I was yesterday, they picked it
Hmm.
straight away, even though I was going, yes, well, I'm from Oxford, yes. Old chap, I'm from Oxford. I'm not an academic there, Bam, I'm gone. And then Kent
Yeah.
didn't know why, and Joseph said, it's Claude.
I wonder if we could get you one of those voice changers, voice modulators. Yeah,
I did have one or
try
two
that, and then they
successes.
can't figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
It was quite good when I sang that little song. I got that in. That was fun.
Hmm. Now I haven't seen that one. I have to go back and find that video. I did see the one you did today, or that you posted, I guess
Yeah,
either today or yesterday, of
yeah.
where he's squirming in his seat. The guy's talking about marriage
Oh yes, that was
and
a
the wife
great.
leaving him and everything.
So it was on Hoven's show, and then the
Hmm.
guy, and it's a debate. He's talking. Is he going to slam or what is it? Whack. He talks about whacking, and he's going to whack that
Yeah.
engineer guy, uh, Bill Nye, the science guy. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in the run up to that whacking, he plays this guy thing, and the guy starts to talk about a joke about first wives and leaving and stuff, and and he's looking there trying to keep it. Did you see?
Because he doesn't bother to preview any of this stuff.
No,
Yeah.
because he's so
What'd you
lazy.
say?
But I put that up in a short on April 5, I think it was, or 4. Anyway, that
Yeah.
short has got 3,000 views. For me, which I don't know why. It just
If I
suddenly
believed in
went
karma, I would say
crazy.
that it was good karma. I don't really believe
Yeah.
in such a thing, but
Mm,
but there is, I think there's both a good and bad to what goes around comes around, and you've done
yeah,
some good
yeah.
things, and some of that good is coming back.
Yeah, so so as I
You
was saying, I don't have an issue with Christian people, it's the ones that I think go beyond the pale, and my life's mission at the moment is to warn good people. If they can take my warning or not. I've corresponded with a few people that have been on
Yeah,
Hoven's show at DAL. Some of them even write back, and we end up disagreeing. Agreeing to disagree, and that's fine. We're very polite. But
yeah,
at least I've given a chance to tell them, look, I think you're on the wrong track. And they can tell me, if they don't have to take any notice, but at least I've done my best. Mm.
yeah. Because that's the thing. If what you were saying
Mm.
was actually incorrect, they could
Yeah.
challenge you on it and say, no, no,
Mm.
no. Here, look at this or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Mm.
point to something, where it's not correct. They can't do any of that
No, they
because what
never
you're
do
saying is
that. No.
exactly,
Yeah.
spot on.
And if I'm wrong,
So
I
they
want to
have to
be,
come up
I
with some
want,
nonsense.
yeah, I want to be called out. If I'm wrong, I want them to tell me. But instead, I'll say things like, you're gossiping and he saved so many lives. Well, first of all, it's not gossiping to tell the truth. It is relevant to the life of a preacher. And secondly, I don't believe this business about saving
Yeah.
lives. I think, honestly, anybody I've ever shown Hoven stuff, and as I said, I had a friend who was a teacher. She's a teacher in Singapore, and she sometimes uses clips from his and other of his followers to illustrate how people can't understand basic logic. And these primary
Hmm.
school kids all get it. So, I don't believe that they would be converted to the Lord through anything that Ken does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's kind of, pointed at the kids to try to affect the kids thinking, how they think about things
Yeah.
when they're young. The whole "get
Mm.
them while they're young" thing in
Yeah.
Christianity.
And you know what? I can even, if somebody sincerely believes there isn't evolution and they give it, that's fine too. They can choose that. But when Kent says there is
Yeah.
zero, there is no evidence for evolution whatsoever, what the?
Hmm.
Just ignoring. I mean, there's a huge amount of evidence for a start. He totally ignores that, and it's just that's what he said. He may as well sit in
Yeah.
a debate and go, someone will make a point, and he'll go,
It's just no.
mm,
Yeah, it's just a no
mm,
argument. And I felt
oh,
like today, to a large extent, well, after a point, Mr. Shackelford was doing that. It pretty much it started to become a no defense,
yeah.
and he kind
Well,
of and he kind of projected that a little bit. He was trying to turn that around on Joe on Kentucky Atheist and say that he was doing that. And I'm thinking and I've commented out like that's a projection right there. That's what he does.
yeah. Well, at one stage, I heard someone saying something about something that happened. Let's pluck a figure out of the air 150 million years ago. And Jason says, "Were you there? Were you there?" I mean, what is that? Isn't that
Oh,
that is the
and
Ken
that too.
Ham
Yeah.
argument, and Ken Hovind probably followed up on it. Were you there?
Hmm. Well,
Oh my
Joey Balls
goodness!
and Strikes. Were you there when God created the universe? Allegedly,
and
did you
and
witness the creation? Did you
yeah,
witness the firmament being constructed? Hmm. Did you?
yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's so sort of challenged that they can't even. I mean, it's a product of homeschooling, I believe, in many cases. I know very few people that have grown up
Hmm.
balanced and intelligent with homeschooling. Now, it's not completely out of the question, but if you add the Christian bit or the creationist bit, to be more accurate, to the homeschool, you've got a recipe for just absolute stupidity. Mm,
Yeah. Just
mm.
bonkers.
And Stephen Boland is the prime example of that. Oh, God. Raised on the videos of Kent Hovind. In a way, I feel sorry for him. Not too sorry.
I'll give a little plug here for Mr. Phantom X11 over on his. If you go and visit his channel,
Yeah.
he has a series that he's doing on. Apparently his family were really into Bill Gothard,
All right.
which
I
is
know the name. Yeah.
very very cultish, and so he's doing some videos on that, some breakdowns on.
Yeah.
And I think he said he's doing it with his brother, and doing some breakdowns on some of the Bill Gothard materials, the homeschool curriculum. So you might want to check that out. Phantom X11 is a good guy.
Yes, I've seen him I think I've said hello a few times. Honestly, lately there have been so many different people. I lose track. I say, oh, who is this? And do I know them from somewhere? Do I know? Like today, everybody in the chat I know, but there's a Pastor Huckleberry. I don't know who that is.
Oh, yeah, I've not heard that name before.
I haven't heard that one before.
I'm always wondering if it's somebody that I haven't seen, if it's a sock account, if it's a troll account.
Yes, yeah. Or a repeat of someone we know but change the name, or in fact, the great non-doctor himself. Although I think he would have said more if it was
really.
The great non-doctor.
Is he even capable? I wonder if he's even capable of doing that. I mean, maybe with help he is. But
yes, someone would set it up. The other thing that I've been sort of a bit mildly amused by is him collecting money for his different things. His ark and his big dinosaur, and now he's going to build a hen house to service the man cave. So I put up a short of that. That got 2,000 views. So people are interested to know what he's doing. I don't think he would have got too many donations from it, but this is an attitude from 50, 60, 70 years ago. It's like women are property. They're there to just serve their man. I mean, I know there are differences between men and women, funnily enough, but when push comes to shove in the crunch, they're equal in terms of decision making. In my view, this business of the man has to be the boss all the time. It's just bullshit. Yeah. So.
Well, they have the whole, Garden of Eden is literally true. So woman was made from Adam's rib. So, so women are subservient to the men because the men were created first, and the woman sinned. She was the one who tempted him to eat of the forbidden fruit. So, we have to carry that on. You see, they're the weaker ones.
Yeah, I mean, fancy eating fruit from a tree when it's the fruit of knowledge. I would have. Their God didn't seem to like the idea of people having knowledge. I think education and knowledge is a good thing, but obviously these people don't.
Oh, but not just any knowledge. It's the knowledge of good and evil.
Which is even more important, isn't it? That they should know knowledge so they can know which is good and which is evil. Anyway, it's all a lot of cobblers.
So they had no idea what they were doing, but it's kind of a philosophical problem. Well, they would have had no idea what they were doing before they ate the fruit anyway, no matter what God told them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a problem, but.
I would love to see an advertisement go out. The wording for an advertisement: wanted girls to service the inmates of the man cave. Free board and lodging at the hen house.
I'm laughing, but it really is disgusting.
Your work hours will be 10 at night till 6 in the morning while the guys are sleeping.
Of course, yeah.
And after that, you have to do all the dishes. And you see, I do remember the testimony of one of his.
And you'll get cooks. A DAL marriage too, right?
Yeah, so you can get out of it easy. Well, Well, that's what Stephen Bowling, he got one of those because you remember just a few months before, he was in the bed of his virgin girlfriend. I
Hmm.
mean, and he
Now
was
this is
lying there in
I
bed
still have
with
to
her.
catch up
Yeah.
on all of this, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but that obviously fell apart, and that's a bit sad.
Hmm.
Within a few months, he was back at DAL, and he
Yeah.
was married, and yet he's got 4 kids. We know he's in
Hmm.
back child support arrears in a big way. So yeah, obviously doesn't. Yeah, just I mean,
Now
I feel sorry
that
for
I mean
her.
I had heard
Maybe it
y'all
will
talk
work.
about that a little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, that's right. You go ahead there. Yeah.
No, just I had heard y'all talk about that a little bit, but I
Mm.
just I never actually talked to Stephen Bolin, and some of this stuff kind of predated my actually making appearances on YouTube channels
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I still need to catch up on the details of that a little bit. But I
Well,
knew about the part where he, like, basically he was on Cindy Lincoln's side, and then he wasn't on Cindy Lincoln's side, and
yes.
he was
Yeah.
back there, and he was apologizing to Kent, and it's like, oh, well, he's just a turncoat, you know.
Well, I think, between you and me that Kent doesn't trust him yet. And I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
blame him. I mean, a plague on both their houses is the, the normal thing that they say. But, so these poor girls will go to DAL and get hooked up with these guys. And then next thing,
Yeah, why would?
they'll be in servitude because, yes, this girl who
Mm-hmm.
worked there, this is where 5 or 6 years ago, we're right back there. And she did all the cooking, and when interviewed at the end, she didn't mind doing the cooking,
Oh, yeah, it was on the
but
Mitchell McKinnon. It
yeah,
was on his documentary.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
remember her name, but yeah.
she had to do the dishes, all the
Mm-hmm.
preparation, and these dirty guys, and admittedly they'd been doing some work during the day, but
Mm-hmm.
and Kent is a bit of a slave driver, and they probably got in, probably had their 2-minute shower. Well, Kent jumped into his hot tub, and
Yeah.
she'd get in, and there was just a hell of a mess. So try to cook for 30, 40 people. And do all the dishes as well, and clean the kitchen and the bathrooms. Talk about
That's a
Cinderella.
lot. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, wasn't the story that then all of a sudden Kent is telling them to take their dirty laundry to her. So then she's expected to do the
Yes.
laundry as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
as
Hmm.
being the primary one in the kitchen, not only cooking all these meals but doing the dishes. And the men are not allowed to, they were expressly told not to help out, or they
Hmm.
weren't interested in any way after they had been worked so
Hmm.
hard and
I mean,
all
it's a
that. So
wonder
they
that
just
they
heaped
didn't
more and more on her.
didn't put in some money together and buy her an iron. Said, "Oh,
Hmm.
iron the clothes as well," or
Yeah.
something stupid. It just, and
They
then
just
she
made a
probably was.
slave out of her, pretty
She's
much.
Yeah, she's probably on the massage roster, as
Hmm.
well. They had the ladies on the massage roster. So, oh no, it was
Yeah,
just
that. Oh,
horrible.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
So no,
And
I
then
think
yeah, because there was the story with Mark Stoney, with Mark Stoney's daughter, and that was
yes,
his
yeah,
falling out with Kent.
yeah, yeah. That's terrible.
Because yeah,
Um,
it's hard. I know how. I have a daughter. She's in her approaching her 20s.
yeah,
But I know how I would have felt.
yeah,
If she was in that situation, I would have been absolutely disgusted.
mm,
I'd have been ready to go to jail. I really would have.
yeah. Well,
I absolutely
of
would have.
course, we don't know because he's not saying anything. He's just shut his mouth. But Kent, we do know from Joseph that Sandra has left, and of course, she's no longer appearing on the program, so we know that too. He's still wearing a ring. To my mind,
Hmm.
that is
Yeah, I noticed
deceitful.
that. I mean,
Mm.
it's yeah.
But I'm thinking Sandra's family never particularly liked Kent. But that aside, because families can be difficult, she had a teenage daughter who's getting older, and would that daughter want to have been stuck at Dinosaur Adventure Land and having Kent
Yeah.
making sort of cheeky jokes and perhaps even trying to set her up with some of them, because he's always
Yeah.
making
And maybe she
inappropriate.
was creeped out
Yeah,
by that.
I,
Yeah.
I, I,
Possible.
that's just my theory now, and so
Yeah.
it's actually a hypothesis,
Well,
not a theory.
it's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's a distinct
yeah,
possibility. We could at
yeah.
least put it that way.
So if he'd only sort of speak up, because then people say, "Oh, Claude, that's his own business." Blah 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 blah. No, it's not. He's the one that made his marriages
Hmm.
public. He trumped them and
Yeah, exactly.
paraded
Yeah, the
them in
whole
front of
public figure thing.
everybody. He waved his wedding ring. You do know that story, don't you? That when just
Oh, yes,
before
I
he
do.
married
The
Sandra,
whole
yeah, Cindy, you blew
Cindy
it.
should have been
Yeah,
yours. You blew it.
yeah, you blew it.
Yeah,
I
I heard
mean,
that whole thing. Yeah.
what kind of person? What kind of person would ever do that? So, yeah, hello,
Only Miss
Deviant.
Only Miss Sherhoven. It's Stevie. Hello, hello.
Hi, hi,
Hi.
hi.
How's the move going?
Uh, it, it's going good, but it's so draining. It makes
Yeah.
me so
I bet.
tired, and so today, Soot's best and oldest friend came to help us carry the boxes because first of all, of course, you need some help. But the fact is also that this this is on the second floor. Our apartment is on this, so it's ground floor, then one floor, and then where we live. So we live on the
Oh,
top floor.
right.
Yeah, and in Sweden, the rule is that a building that's taller than 5 floors needs to have an elevator, but everything below 5 floors doesn't. So you can have up to 4 floors without elevator. And since this house is one of the lower ones, there is of course no elevator because that costs extra money and so forth. So you have to carry everything up through spiral stairs. And I've been sitting at home for nearly 20 years. That's not really true. I've been doing other things. But the past 10 years, and prior to that, I was paralyzed. So my bone muscles are not what they should be to be able to do this job.
Mhm.
Oh wow. I didn't know you'd been through that. Broder Pike
Welcome.
is
Yeah.
here.
Okay, Pike, I have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
I tried to ask this question via Tim, but since he didn't understand the words, he called it trolling and threatened to ban me, which I thought was outrageous. So now I have to ask you and ask all of you if this is just complete, maybe it is complete nonsense. Maybe, I mean, English isn't my first language, but that's a secret. So
Now,
the
what was the
question,
question? What is the
the quest,
question?
the question is, what is the ingenious visage of bliss upon the soul of a wide-eyed, rosy-chinned boy to the onslaught of the percolating qualms of an evangelist in the presence of theological this is the word I never colloquy.
Oh,
That
it
sounds
sounds
like
to
You just,
me like Matt Powell.
So
I think you just used too many big words for Tim. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is
Simpler
that
terms,
that is
you know.
that was part of the question. It's part of the question. It's meant to be difficult because that is what the question's about. But is it completely incomprehensible? How?
Almost.
That CRP, Mr. Pike,
Hmm.
could you say a few more words? And are you surrounded by fields of gold?
You know this. This isn't Pike.
I know, yeah, I'm beginning to think
Yeah,
I
I
know who
heard.
it is.
I
What's that
yeah,
in
I
the voice?
heard.
I'm like,
You
wait a
don't
minute, that's
recognize
not
my
him.
voice.
Yes, you're the
Yeah,
one
I
that got all those
This sounds like
views
Clay.
for.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
yeah, it is
Clay.
Clay. I I I he-
I
I
bought.
heard when you said, like, yeah, when I asked if I could ask you a question, it was like, wait, it wasn't that boyish. Oh my goodness, you're gonna hate me after I say this, Clay. Please don't hate me. It was missing that boyish air and was way more tired, like the voice
Check out what I got
of a
on Amazon.
first-time father, not the fifth, sixth, 10-time father.
So, how are you, Mr. Clay?
Pretty good. It's like really bad here today, weather-wise, like really cold and rainy.
Ah,
So we pretty much didn't do anything. Just like sat around the house all day.
it looks as though you've been mining for gold there.
Yeah.
There is some crazy weather in the United States right now. In areas from Texas all the way through the Ohio Valley and into the South, into Tennessee. There have been for several days now. They've had just nothing but rain and severe thunderstorms and tornadoes and flooding, flash flooding.
Yeah.
It's like this system has just lingered over that area, and every day they're just getting hit with it. Bam, 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 bam.
It was so nice. It was like 70 and 80, and now all of a sudden it's like 45 and just rainy since like Thursday, pretty much.
What state are you?
Kansas.
All right.
So, like, right in the center of the U.S.
Mm.
But yeah,
Is
I
that
bought
where
my book.
the Wizard of Oz or something? Kansas.
Yeah,
Did,
that's
Clay,
where.
did you get any snow?
No, no, it hasn't been that cold.
Okay,
Just like,
because I
what?
was told that like back in Oklahoma, like the forecast, and well, actually, I think I heard it was Sunday, that it might be happening on Sunday, that there could be a chance of spring snow.
Yeah, I'm gonna look now. We actually had snow like a week and a half ago, and I was hoping that would be the last one, but it didn't really stick around. It just snowed briefly. Yeah, tomorrow it says a low of 33 and a high of 54.
So
So,
it's like right on the cusp where it could snow, probably won't stick, but you could see some.
and for you guys, over there, it's a low of 1 and a high of 12. But in America, we use Fahrenheit, so it's confusing.
I
Did you know?
can I quickly change back to, because I just remembered what I heard before I got on here, which I was thinking I should probably rectify. You said, Frank, that Mark's falling out with Kent had to do with his daughter, or rather Kent having Mark's daughter giving him a massage.
Yes, did I say it right?
Yeah, that's not so. It's true that Kent had Mark's daughter giving him a massage without Mark's knowing, but that Mark had no idea about that when he left DAL. He didn't know about that until way over a year later. So the reason Mark left was
Well,
because
that's
of
pretty
Chris
crazy.
Jones and the fact that
Okay.
there had been a custody battle over his daughter, which Mark had won, and the fact, of course, that he wants to protect his daughter. So, first of all, he doesn't want his. I don't have to say it. You guys understand. And also the
Yeah,
fact that
I understand where you're going. Yeah, if it's
even if
sensitive,
just
yeah, I understand.
just the fact that the guy was there, even if Mark wasn't there at that particular moment, could be something that was later brought up, and he would lose the custody of his child. So that was the reason that Mark left. And Mark was at the time a member of the board.
Yeah, I
But
remember him saying that.
yeah, so I just wanted to like correct it, because it said something on one stream and then someone hears
Yeah.
it, and just keeping the record
Yeah,
straight. Now we can
that's
go
okay.
back to
I
much.
appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in and doing that because so I may be a little fuzzy on the details, so I
Yeah,
apologize for not getting that exactly right. But
no,
just
that's
I am going from memory.
completely understandable.
Yeah.
Especially for But in funner news, how many of you are being blown away?
In I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
How many of you are being blown away?
That's a bit of a personal question.
I know. I was like, I did a double take. I'm like, yeah, what?
No, I'm of course talking about the weather, the
Yeah,
storms, and
I am single at the moment, so yeah, I'm not particularly blown away. But yeah, weather-wise,
okay.
it's pretty good right now in. It's pretty
You
good
can
right
be
now in
blown
Georgia.
away even without a steady partner.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah.
just giving tips.
Did you guys see
Always
this
a
video floating
possibility.
around
Yes.
of the earthquakes in Thailand? And there's like a guy in a crane that falls off a roof because of it.
I haven't seen that particular thing, but I have seen a lot of clips from what I understand. It's right around where Claude is, I think.
So it's quite a few, be a good 1,000 kilometers away, but it's
Okay.
it didn't affect me. It was in Myanmar or Burma,
Yeah.
and it affected Myanmar and northern Thailand. Myanmar suffered the worst, but a building under construction in Bangkok collapsed, just went
Yeah.
down, and but there were videos posted. You can find them on YouTube and other
It's
sources
like
of a swimming pool on the top floor. And the water's sloshing, and these people are lying on floating mattresses on. They desperately quickly get out, and they're lucky they do, because those mattresses went over the side of these skyscrapers.
Oh my goodness.
I keep seeing the video of that one under construction with the guy in the crane.
Yeah.
And I think I read somewhere that he died, and he was like, I think 37 or 36 or something.
There's, I think, 100 people maybe died in that one. It just sort of fell on top of them, the whole thing. And then the other one, there's a video of a window cleaner cleaning the side of the windows on a skyscraper, and the quake starts, and he's swinging out like on a pendulum. You can imagine what it would be like.
Yeah.
That is scary. Very scary.
Very scary. In the old days, people would say the gods were angry. Nowadays, we know it's a scientific phenomena.
Yeah, unfortunately, though. I mean, when 9/11 happened, there were people in the US saying it was because of the lesbians.
Oh, they got
Yeah.
that totally wrong.
I've heard a
Uh,
lot of
yes.
things on like
there
what
was so
caused.
much garbage going around post 9/11 that people were just
Hmm.
saying so many different things. They were
And like,
at one point they were trying to say that it was the Jewish conspiracy to at
oh
one
yeah,
point to cause 9/11 to happen.
What is weird how so many Jews like called in.
Mod,
go home with
making hell
that.
nervous.
Yes, no, all around the world, and different things happen. With the real arch conservative, whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever, they try and blame it on people with a lifestyle that they don't approve of. So,
And I mean, to a certain degree, I get it, because when things like that happens, like a catastrophe like that, people want some sort of explanation that makes sense, but complexity it's draining energy. Complexity is difficult, of course, so it's much easier to like climb on to this, or cling on to these simple answers, instead of going into like
How did they say it?
US politics
Yeah.
abroad.
Did they say it was because the Islam extremists were like so upset about lesbians or something?
No. They said
they-
it was because of it was God punishing the US for all the lesbians,
yeah.
But wouldn't that be
like
gays?
allowing people
like
to be lesbian, even
like not
though
just lesbians, but also like gay men.
Yes,
no,
it would be
in this
everything.
case
You
was
name it.
specifically the case I'm thinking about was a pastor. I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but he's pretty famous from what I understand.
We've had pastors in our country though blame weather, though really bad periods of bad weather and whatnot, though, or destructive tornadoes and whatnot on the same kind of thing, like when Hurricane Katrina happened years ago. There was 20-something years ago, there was a pastor who was saying, "Oh, it's because of all the gay people in New Orleans."
There's
And
like
all
an
this outrage
entire
goes on
church.
there.
There's an entire church like that called the Westboro Baptist, and they're by me.
Goodness.
And they'll go to so there'll be like a mass shooting with a bunch of like little like kindergartners, and they'll go there and be like, God killed your faggot kids and stuff, and they blame like everything on gays. They're-
It's
they're
so
just
painful.
appalling.
They're pretty extreme, They also go to like military, like soldiers' funerals and protest and say it's because they were gay. But like the people they are saying that about are people who aren't actually gay.
Missing Mod has got straight to the point. I'm just
Ted's very straight to the point.
God. This is a family show.
On the topic of Missing Mod, I have something very important to say.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you the exact details because there's no need. I know you do, but I think you already do, which is why I'm not saying it. I'm just going to say this. It's April 6, 2025. And today...
What's April 5th in America?
Okay, but it can't be many hours. Okay, so
it's like
5th and 6th.
Anyway,
Okay,
yes,
I give you
on.
2 days. What day is it for you, Claude?
It's 6th.
Okay, good. So it's not 3 days.
Well,
Then I would have had to rethink this.
a.m. there, Claude.
Where we are in the Eastern time zone, it's 9:50 in the evening, so we have about a little bit over 2 more hours until it's the 6th.
Okay, but this happened on the 5th, even
Okay,
here.
right. Carry
But I'm
on.
feeling generous, so I'm making it 2 days. 3, I would have to think about
Okay.
it.
Tell us.
Today is Missing Mod is a hero day.
Oh. Oh.
She's the
Oh,
hero of
nice.
the day.
You should make it January or April 6th, so that way she could celebrate tomorrow and doesn't like only get a couple
Yeah,
hours.
that's why I'm making it 2 days, so she can take it in now and celebrate tomorrow, not like, oh my goodness, I have
Oh,
3 hours.
what is she a
Only the
hero
days
for?
No, she did something that really
She
impressed
says
me,
all in a
and
day's work.
So that would have involved in kicking ass of somebody's. wouldn't it?
yes,
She had to have kicked some horrible
Yeah.
person's ass. Well, good on
yes,
Did she finally tell
yes.
Tim off?
I don't think Tim had anything to do with it,
her.
but
Right.
I want to.
Was
You
it
are-
Zealous Den?
There has been issues between me and Missing Mod in the past.
And
which
you're
is
now
why-
getting married. Oh no.
And we are now getting married.
Oh God.
I'm also marrying Soot, of course,
All right.
Hopefully
but
that doesn't
there is
cost
no
another
issue.
9/11.
There is no issues there. Me and Missing Mod are
That's amazing.
only getting married for
In spirit.
April 5th, and
All right. That's it.
if buildings fall,
Hmm.
They're getting married only for sex. Only
only
Oh,
for
no.
sex.
Only for sexual purposes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
God. Uh,
Whatever flows, whatever flies, whatever quivers and
What?
falls to the ground, it's not on us, okay?
okay. Hmm. Well, no, I mean, when
No,
Missy
I
Maud
mean,
decides to kick ass, she
I'm
kicks
joking
ass.
about it,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
being
You
very,
are
very
grateful. That's
sincere.
good. Thank you. I'm guessing and I'm thinking, yes, I think I can work it out, and that's very
Yeah.
good too. My congratulations too. So there we
Thank
We need
go.
Missing Maud to jump in here and talk to us for a bit, if she can.
Oh, she can't do that now. She's horrified. She's shelling.
Mm.
Like, what
Plus,
is going on? Deviant
She's in
is saying these
shock.
things about
Yeah.
me.
Oh, have you seen that in the chat?
She is shooketh.
Yeah. But have you seen this one? It's a consexual.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, Missing Mod, you can come on, but the show is probably only going on for about 10 more minutes because, Claude likes a quickie. So if you wish to come on, I'll put up the link. Now would be the time. Here it goes. It's just that because I'm too mean to pay for an account, I can't have my account up there all the time. Yeah.
Did you say you're too mean?
Yes.
Is that
Too-
an
Well, I get a free.
Uh,
I just use the free version of StreamYard, and it
Yeah.
has a few less features. So one of them is I can't post a link, or which stays at what do you mean? Permanently is up there. Yeah.
Oh
We need to have a fundraiser.
no,
have a fundraiser for you so you can have
I've
more
got the
streams.
money. I just don't want to spend it.
I was more
Oh.
curious about the word choice because
Mean. Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I get what you are saying. I understand it, but I don't think I've heard it used that way before.
We have
So
we have a
is it
term in France. Is
mean bean
poisson
cuisine?
derrière. So I'm as
Oh,
tight as a fish's ass. And that's
I-
watertight. And that's watertight.
That is pretty tight.
You
Yeah.
like that?
Wow.
I,
Nothing's getting through there.
And who would want a fish there?
Exactly. Well, some people do.
I mean,
Gerbils,
an eel.
apparently.
There she is.
Or gerbils. Not gerbils.
Hamsters.
I could.
Hamsterissimus
Hi.
bamicissimus, which is the Latin term for hamsters up the bottom. Yeah. Hello, Maud.
Okay.
Hello.
Missing Mon. Hi.
We were just
Thank
talking
you
about
so much. Are you
lobsters.
talking about the comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Good
am.
to see you, Miss
I
Maud.
read it and
Thank you.
I read
Good
it
to see you.
actually several times. I actually
You made-
stopped packing and doing things.
Oh,
I don't know. It just I was like, I have to tell her this. I have to tell her how you grew like 85 sizes without becoming. I mean, I'm not a feeder.
oh. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it would. I was doing it for anybody that goes over there. Just like I told Big Bad Mama, I'm like, I'm not. I got to have his back.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's a lie, but he's super worried about it, and I hate that.
Me
I just
too.
want him to relax and not worry about it. But I don't. Doesn't matter. Don't want to really talk about it here. But thank you very
No.
much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. I want to go back and read it now just so I can see what it said.
I mean, it was just very straightforward, not overly emotional, but straightforward, in your face. This is it, and I'm standing by it. You show
Yeah.
that you're a straight up person, and I really admire and respect that. And I want you
Thank
to
you.
know that I feel that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
you want
Maud
to
is
say
a good,
something?
is an example. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Claude.
no, you go for it. You go for it.
I was going to say, Maud is a great example to Christians out there that this is how you be a good Christian.
Well, no, this isn't how you be a good Christian. Don't follow me, please. Gosh. I mean, most people yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. Bad example.
Not that
Anyways.
bad. I've
Well,
had
hey,
worse.
I mean, Jesus in the Bible was accused of being a wine bibber and a friend to publicans and sinners and all that.
Oh, you
So,
sound like him.
you're hanging out with this horrible atheist, this publican sinners. So it's like, yeah, you're following in Jesus's footsteps.
Well, I'm a
We're just not
sinner
drinking.
myself, but seriously, I just look at it, I just look at you guys like people. Like there's a lot of people, in my life that I probably didn't even know if they were. There's tons of people I never even asked them if they were Christian or if they were whatever. It's like a thing on here, but in my real life, it's never been a thing. I knew people went to church and like I thought that they were, in my mind, I thought they were better than me, but now I realize they're not, but I don't know. Anyway, so what's new with you guys?
We just
Farting
thought
around.
we'd have a short show, and yeah, just catch up. We've not talked about the tough issues. We've just had our usual.
What we've talked about the fishes.
Yeah.
Well,
we talked about the gerbils, or the gerbils.
Yeah, I don't know. Never mind. Let me skip that for now. But I just got here though. Can we start over?
What?
Yeah.
Hey,
Gladly.
hey, Maud. One thing that we were talking about earlier was earlier today there was a debate between Joe, the Kentucky atheist, and Mr. Joseph Shackelford, Oven's tech guy.
Yeah, I tuned into that for a second, and then when I tried to talk, and all I said was hi, and I wasn't blocked today, but obviously I had been blocked at some point, so I didn't show up in the chat. which I thought
Ah.
was really weird. I'm like, I thought me and Joe were cool, like, but maybe it was just a glitch or something. I don't know. So I was like, all right.
So
didn't
was
really
it
stay there.
Joe versus Joe? Was it? Is there two Joes? I'm getting
Oh
confused.
yeah, I
Because it
guess
was
so.
It's
Kentucky
almost Joe
Atheist
squared.
channel. Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be blocked on Kentucky Atheist, and Joseph couldn't block you on there. So maybe it
Yeah,
was
no.
just some problem with the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be it too. I should have tried
There
another one,
were-
huh? I was
Yeah,
just
there
like,
were
I
a
don't
lot
really
of people
care
in the
that much.
comments.
I was just like,
Yeah,
There
I'm
were
whatever.
kind
a
of
lot of
bummed.
people going in the comments during that debate.
Yes,
Why?
I was being
Why
a bit naughty, of course.
You're always being bad. What the hell? We know bad has shown up when your name pops up, you know?
Oh my goodness. I don't think Dan will ever talk to me again. But that's all right. Well, Dan, oh gee. Just
What'd
over
you do?
things that have got no, just things that have gone on today, and yeah, as you know, I don't want to discuss them really, but he's not been very nice. Yeah, not to
I've seen
me.
him say today, I'm full of surprises, and I just laughed so hard
Yes.
when I seen that.
Yeah,
I guess he is.
yeah. Well, so. And I don't
haven't
think
even
Bolan will ever want to talk to me again either.
see. I don't know what happened. I didn't even see Logan's today.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's pretty unhappy. So, yeah. You
Oh,
Yeah.
he's-
I don't know if was he on today, because he posted
Yes,
something
yeah.
that was him and Aiden.
Yes,
But was that a
that's the
live,
extent
or-
of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to
Aiden's
open
always
up
in the
that
middle of it.
topic, but basically, on a certain people's channel that Dan is the president of, a very defamatory comment was allowed to be made about our mutual friend Ghost, and it's horrible and it's untrue, and a number of people would like Dan to exercise his power as president and remove that. We'll see. We'll see if he's got the balls to do so.
I told
Wow.
Logan, I said I said delete your comment over there on the video and just forget about it. Don't ask them. Don't ask any of them anymore. Don't ask.
No.
Just let it go, and then I'll deal with it. And that's why I went over there and made the comment, because it seems like to me, whenever someone asks him to take it down, it fuels him more to want to keep it up, because then he's demanding all of us go on there. Like Mark's going to go on there. He's the one being accused in the video. Like, he's not going to go on there and say it wasn't edited. How do any of us know? We can't tell.
Yeah.
We don't know. So he's just literally being I would just not give him what he wants and just ignore it. Ain't nobody
Ignore
going
it,
to believe
yes.
it.
Well,
I got Logan's back.
Yeah, the editing thing is
And we all do.
is a distraction too.
Yeah.
And that's the real issue is not the editing. The real issue is the defamation, the accusation that's been made, which is horrible. But yeah,
I just want to clarify the thing I said yeah to was missing mods that we're all behind.
Yeah.
Our little our little ghost.
I'm taking the side of Ghost, and I'm taking it not just because, I know I'm based on the evidence. I'm an evidence-based person, and what I've seen is.
Well, I can guarantee you that there isn't anybody that looked further back on his Facebook than me. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down the whole road of why that is, but when I first met him, or met you guys, met everybody in the group, all of us kind of came together. I looked all through his stuff and never seen anything that raised any red flags for me. And I think that Adam was just maybe, I don't know. Adam's, kind of weird, but he told me that too, but I didn't believe it. I don't believe it, because I know there's nothing there. Like, I seen it myself. The one that got deleted, that's not even there anymore, or not deleted, but hacked or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so
he's lying.
Yes, and it's dreadful that those people who call themselves proverbials actually put that on. I think they know the truth, and yet they're doing that. So they've got a lot to answer for, and if there is a God, I'm sure they'll be answering for it.
I
Yeah,
don't normally go anywhere near Proverbs Guy's channel, but I'm going to have to go and take a look now because
I wouldn't bother. I don't know
no.
if it's still there or not. Yeah.
Look, Frank,
Hmm.
you want to see the old school stuff, like the old days with like young Stump and Lupin, not young Stump, but older Stump and Lupin, and just all the way back before I ever even started my channel. That's where you'll find it, is on Proverbs Guys. I'm serious. He has everything there. Everything. All of us are in there at some point. I even think Deviant's in there a couple times. And Aiden used to be their guard dog, right? Like he used to be like Dustin is. You know how Dustin gets like rowdy and starts yelling at people and stuff. That's how Aiden used to be on their channel back in the day. I mean, there's all kinds. It's like a time capsule, really, because he never privates anything. So it's really cool. Anyway,
Like you're gangster, or are you talking about on Proverbs Guys?
I'm talking about Proverbs Guys and Logan's,
Proverbs Guys.
Proverbs Guys is like from the way back, way before Gangster's channel. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was. No, I don't. No, I've never been on Proverbs Guys, but he might have something from like from Mark's old streams. I mean, it's so weird to me when we talk. It's like, yeah, this is way back.
Yeah.
And
but
it's
it
like,
really wasn't.
No, it's
I
like
guess.
3 years.
I know, it's crazy though, right? Like how it just time's flown. Yeah. It's been a blast, really. Sometimes it stresses me out, but for the most part, I love it.
Yeah, I think it stresses all of us out from time to time, which is why it's good to take a break.
Yeah.
It's way better to like
down. I just need someone to down so I could not do it.
Don't tell me that after I've said that we're getting married, Miss Ingmon.
Oh, I forgot. Well, that's just the only way. I don't know. I just love it on here. Whenever I stop thinking of, stop doing this, I start thinking about my dad, and then it's just like, oh, I gotta do that though. Because
of course you have to process, but everything has its time. There's no good in like pressing yourself, whether it be press yourself to always be on streams and on YouTube and with us and all of the nonsense that goes on, or if it's like grieving your dad. But both things are important parts of life that I think even when it's hard, at the core of it, it's good. I think our community is a good thing. I mean, for Christ's sake, I wouldn't have met Soot if it wasn't for this community.
I know, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Me
Terry
too.
Terry and Jamie wouldn't have met.
No.
Yeah.
Who else? There's someone else.
People are just hooking up all over this community, aren't they?
Yeah, because people are lonely, and that's what it is. People do that. That's human human nature, I guess. I love that. Oh, AJ and his girlfriend. I don't know, on and off, but still, that's that. I mean, yeah.
Is that where Aiden met?
No.
What's it?
No.
Brianna?
They've been together.
Yeah, Brianna.
Oh, they've been together.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been together since like they were 13 or something like that.
Aww.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, that is sweet.
Well, he's only 17, so.
Yeah, that's true. And
hey, awake.
Folks, I'm going to wrap it up. if you do
You
want
always
to,
say that when it's
yes,
getting good.
yeah, well, I just
Yeah.
we just want to
Damn
stay on a couple of
French.
minutes. Once I wrap it up, that would be good. So don't just disappear straight away.
Of course.
But yes, what I'll have to do is give you somehow advance warning so you can come on at the beginning of the show because poor Claude is tired now. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
poor
Poor,
Claude.
Thank you for
poor
letting me
Claude
on.
Well,
needs.
yeah.
No, that's good.
Thank you very
It's
much
been
for having
fun.
us on tonight.
We
Yeah.
haven't been too rude or naughty. We've been quite good.
I
Yeah.
think we have held it classy.
I think we're all class.
Salacious, but not
All class and a little bit of
raunchy.
ass, yes, as they say.
Mhm.
Okay.
And think of it this
Like-
way too. This is one of those streams because so many so-called Christians out there think that Claude is this big pervert because of the clever comments that he makes. They're scared to death to come anywhere near these live streams and watch this video and find out what we're talking about. So
Oh
we
no,
should be
they're
pretty
all
well
watching.
protected.
That's
all
a claim of Proverbs guys that
Mhm.
somehow I'm a pervert, but I'm a wit. But actually, they're only half right about that. I'm a half wit. You know?
I'm so glad you said it because I
Yes,
was about to,
gonna
and I
say
would
that,
have
yeah.
had to flagellate myself if I did.
Oh, no, well, can I assist? Anyway, I'm sure that missing mod could tie you up in a dungeon and let me
Right.
go. Please release.
Exactly.
Please release
Claude's
me,
sex
let me
dungeon.
go. Okay, I'll say goodnight to everybody in the chat.
Night, everybody.
Bye, chat. Bye,
Good
chat.
night. Thanks